Get your steps in here already. Good to sit down and relax. Sun's going down. It's been a little bit. You came to San Antonio on the cooler days. If you don't believe me, come back and try it.
That's what I was looking at my email.
My name is Bob. I'll be your boat captain and tour guide for the next 2 to 3 hours.
But I'll try to get it for 3 hours. I just don't got that much data, so I don't know.
We'll be together about a half hour, 35 minutes.
No, I think it's high enough.
Talking about a little history, some trivia, fun facts about our beautiful river. A couple safety reminders as we get going. Please stay seated at all times. There are some low bridges, lower than this one even, and you could hurt yourself if you stand up. There's no vaping allowed, no smoking or vaping. Drinking is perfectly acceptable. I see some came prepared. I'll be your designated driver for the next 35 minutes. Beyond that, my rates are negotiable. See me after the tour. And finally, we do have enough life jackets for everybody. The river is only about 3 feet deep, however. So if we did end up in the water, take care of those that have not achieved 3 feet in height. Take care of yourselves with a life jacket if you need one. And finally, if we could keep it movie theater quiet. I know we like to have side conversations, and that's fine, but we can keep it movie theater quiet so everybody can enjoy the tour. That would be great for all of us. So let's get going here. The first thing I'd like to point out is the Tower of America up here behind us to our left. The Tower of America was built in 1968 for the World's Fair here in San Antonio. It's about 750 feet tall, has a restaurant up top, an observation deck, and a lounge. At the time of the built, it was the tallest, not only in the United States, but in all of North America.
It's a long walk.
That's no longer the case. It did lose that title to the Stratosphere in Las Vegas, is the tallest in the U.S. And the tallest in North America is the CN
We don't
Tower
have to go.
in Toronto.
We don't have to go. We've been to the one in Toronto.
We had the World's Fair in 1968.
And the Stratosphere.
From April to October. We were expecting about 10 million visitors to the city. For the World's Fair, we had 35 countries participating. We ended up a little short of the 10 million. We had between 6.5 and 7 million visitors, which still was considered to be very successful for our city. And it really did put us on the map. Culture and tourism and the river and the Riverwalk is the #1 tourist destination in Texas. Now the last building completed for the World's Fair was the Hilton Palacio del Rio, here on our left. That needed to be opened for the World's Fair in 1968. The problem was 1 year before the fair started, April of 1967, they had not broken ground on that hotel, not even started it. But the organizers were intent on having it for the World's Fair, so they got together with a builder, H.P. Blackman, who was a graduate of Texas A&M School of Engineering and Architecture. In fact, H.P. Zachary is the namesake of the engineering school at Texas A&M. So H.P. Zachary said that he could build that hotel in a year or even less. He committed to 9 months, and he told the city that he could build it in 9 months or he would sell it to the city for $1 if he failed. So the city of San Antonio made a contract with him. What did they have to lose? If he was late, they get a hotel for $1. If he's on time, they have the hotel for the World's Fair. So tall order though, 21 stories, over 500 rooms. He got to build it. He did not finish it in 9 months.
Wow.
He also did not have to sell it to the city for $1 because he finished ahead of schedule. He built that hotel in 7 months.
Oh.
202 days to be exact. And when I say he, it was him and 400 construction workers working around the clock, 24 hours a day. But they did a unique concept. They built the first 4 floors right there on the site. And the rooms were built 7 miles away as modules. The 500 plus rooms were all built 7 miles away on 17 acre parcel of land. And when the rooms were finished, they were brought here on flatbed trucks, and they were just stacked on top of each other. And if you make this left turn, you look up to the left, you'll see those modules. Looks like concrete shoeboxes stacked on top of each other. So the rooms were
Yeah, this
finished.
is
And
not
when I
the
say they
area
were
we're
finished,
running
before they
for.
brought them here, they already had the furniture in them. The electrical and the plumbing was all ready to be plugged in to the last room that was put in place. The pictures were already hung on the wall. They were finished. They were able to stack up to 35 rooms a day, and they got the hotel completed in 202 days. That is a Guinness Book of World Records. Still standing after 58 years as a record. HD Factory also had to plan on building this hotel on the riverbed. Just to prepare the land, they had to put 240-foot deep cylindrical piers in the ground just to stabilize the riverbed. There was nothing easy about building this hotel, especially to do it in 202 days. Now, by contrast, our little ticket booth over here on the right side, our other ticket location for Go Real Cruises, 3 windows, 1 door, 1 level. That took us 18 months to build. I think we hired the wrong guy. HB Packer could have done it in 20 minutes. So it's like half of a hotel room right there. If you happen to visit the Hilton, there's a good gallery of pictures of the building process near the lobby. It's pretty interesting. You can also find lots of information on it and about it. We're going to go under another one of our footbridges, several of these to get you from one side to the other. This little area here is called La Raita.
This is where we eat.
Otherwise known as the Little Village.
This is where we eat. This is the area.
La Raita was Spanish in 1722. There's 30 buildings up there on street level, dating back to the early mid-1700s. Some came around in the 1800s when French and German folks migrated. Stage galleries and shops, live entertainment as you can hear, and after dark a nice cool breeze will cool you off up there. It's a great place to hang out. This is the Artisan River Theater. This opened in 1941. Along with the rest of the reopened and redesigned river.
I think that's where we eat, that area.
Seats about 800 people. Some of you might recognize the stage, the movie, Discongeniality. That was the scene of the Miss America pageant swimsuit competition. Most of the movie was filmed here in San Antonio. Now, when I refer to the right side and left side of the boat, that's what I mean, the right and left of the boat. My left and your left will vary during the tour. So on our right side, that is the Briscoe Western Art Museum. That opened in 2013. It's a building that used to be one of our public libraries. But in 2013, it became the Briscoe. It's a great collection of Western art and artifacts. Items dating back to the 1800s. A lot of items in there belonging to Teddy Roosevelt, including his last known horse saddle. Now we're going under one of those low bridges I told you about. Please stay seated. If you stay seated, I guarantee you will not hit your head. If you stand up, I can pretty much guarantee you'll hit your head. I don't have any time with me.
I touched the side.
We're all through safely. Now on the right, we've got an island in the shape of a heart. And guess what that's called? Marriage Island. I don't want to help them on it because it's solemn.
Get a picture of this Navarro Street.
So that is home to about 300 weddings every year. It's called Marriage Island. I got married there 7 years ago.
Too short.
And it's really convenient.
It's too short.
No, I don't want to touch that. This is divorce inlet, so if that doesn't work out, we have divorce inlet. But this area here was called the Old Mill Crossing in the 1800s, right here. This was calm and clean and shallow, and you have to imagine in the 1800s, there was nothing here, no buildings. So people could come down here with their horses and give them a bath, get them a drink. There were merchants on either side of the river. They could do some horse trading, take care of the business, make repairs on their wagons because there were blacksmiths and mechanics. So this was sort of a wide open marketplace back in the 1800s. And then one by one buildings started to pop up and the city sort of squeezed out the market. And it became city. And one of those first buildings in the early 1900s is over here on our left. This is the Tower Life building. And the Tower Life building was completed in 1929. It was built by a couple of brothers from New York City who brought a Gothic design to San Antonio. It's really different than all the other architecture that you might see around the city. And you can see those Gothic themes there with the grotesque faces above the second floor and the gargoyles off of the roof up there. The roof normally flies a giant American flag, but currently it's a giant Spurs flag. So they moved into the building. They built it for a cost of $3 million. They moved in 1929, and 3 months after they moved in, the stock market crashed and we entered the Great Depression. They were having so much trouble filling that building and getting rent paid, they were forced to sell it for $300,000. The business failed. And the building, quite frankly, has struggled for many years. It did have a Sears department store there in the 1930s. Dwight Eisenhower had an office there in the 1940s. And it's vacant right now, but being renovated and converted into apartment homes. So that will be apartments starting next year, that whole building. On our right, we have the International Center of San Antonio. That also used to be a public library, but since 1998 it's been the International Center as the regional offices of commerce for Mexico, Canada, and the United States. And the lowest level of that building, we could actually make a right turn and go under the building. It is one of our 2 marinas. We could go in there and park the boat if we wanted to. Get about 30 boats under that building. We're going out into the main flood channel. We're crossing over floodgate number 4, which comes up from below. I'm going to honk the horn. Don't be alarmed. Because there is 2-way traffic down here. Police boats.
So if it does flood, do they still allow people on the...
So this is the main flood channel. San Antonio had a devastating flood in 1921. Where a hurricane came in from the Gulf, moved to central Texas and literally just parked itself over San Antonio and draining. Coming up on our left, up those steps and up the hill, that's the San Fernando Cathedral. You can see the 2 towers through the trees. It was built in 1731. It's one of the oldest cathedrals in the country. The oldest in San Antonio. They do have a nightly program there called the Saga of San Antonio, which is a laser light show on the outside walls of the cathedral. And it's spectacular. It's free and open to the public, and they do it every night about 9:15. If you pull up a search bar on your phone and you type in Saga of San Antonio, you get all the information that you need to know. If you got there by 9 o'clock, you'd have good position to see the show. And it is nice, very nice. Every night but Monday. So if you have time tonight, you're in luck.
Is it 18?
Ooh, wow.
Right now we're passing under the tallest and oldest tree on the river. This cypress tree is 100 feet tall and 300 years old. In 1835, a Spanish sniper hiding out in that tree caught sight of
Can I
a group
turn
of
around?
soldiers coming down
I'm getting
the
a
hillside
cramp.
behind us towards the river.
There you go.
That sniper recognized the lead soldier as somebody important, so he took one shot and killed him. And that was Lieutenant Colonel Ben Miley. Investigators were leading German soldiers. He had done something lucky to help protect them from the battle of the Vineyard. Theater up on the street level. That opened in 1926. It was one of the first silent movie black and white picture theaters in the country, showing Charlie Chaplin movies. Today it's a 1,400-seat event arena venue showing bands, comedians, musicians. They have a great schedule all year long. The Aztec Theater. Coming up on the right at street level, you'll see a cream-colored building. That is the Omni Hotel. It's a boutique and spa hotel. The Omni Umbrella opened in 2003. The building's much older. In 1901, that building was the L. Frank Company. They made saddles and other items for horses. They made saddles for Teddy Roosevelt. They made items for the U.S. Army. They employed about 500 people in 1900. Now we just went under the most photographed bridge on the river, and it was like all the other ones. One that was used in the movie Selena, starring Jennifer Lopez. And the top of that bridge is where Jennifer Lopez played the scene out where Selena was proposed to by her boyfriend. A lot of people like to recreate that scene. All you have to do is go to the top of the bridge, take a picture, and you got it. On our left is another Omni property. That's the Mansion Hotel, the mansion up the river. Omni took that over in 1998. The building was built in 1853. Originally it was the St. Mary's School for Boys, which made way for the St. Mary's Academy, and ultimately it was the St. Mary's Law School. And one of the alumni from the law school bought the building in the mid-1960s. He converted it to a hotel, which opened in time for the World's Fair in 1968. And in my opinion, it's the most beautiful.
eating on this boat. They're eating. They're eating here.
He's also a native of San Antonio, and before he took care of our river, he had done some floodplain work out of Orland, so he was well versed in floodplain management.
I told you it was going to get busy in the night. It is dark time, I figured, yeah. Because it literally is 5 a minute. You can literally see just people going.
Yeah, we're going to make a left turn and head back to River Center where we came from.
Oh, he said a left turn. Yeah, this looks familiar. I think yeah, we walked past here. Remember, this is where we turned to go walk to the mall. Remember, we had walked down there and then we turned.
Wait,
that's in the street.
So this canal also takes us to the World's Fair and Convention Center area. The Henry D. Convention Center is 500,000 square feet of convention floor space. He was the first Mexican member of the U.S. House of Representatives. First winning that seat in 1960. And then through multiple re-elections, he was there until 1999 when he retired. And then his son Charlie Gonzalez ran for that congressional seat, and he was there till 2013, so you have 54 years of congressional leadership.
Where was it? Is it just? Oh, they must have a private room. He's roasting.
On your left, you'll see.
Put it in sports mode.
Up ahead and in the sky, you'll see the Marriott River Center. Now that hotel was finished in 1988. However, when they started building it in 1985, there was another hotel on that site called the Fairmount Hotel, which was built in 1906. So it was about 80 years old, and it was no longer operating as a hotel, and it was vacant. So Marriott thought they could just tear it down. But since it was on the National Registry of Historic Buildings, the city of San Antonio said, no, you can't tear it down, you got to figure something out. So the Marriott folks and the Conservation Society here in San Antonio got together and they made a plan to move the Fairmount Hotel. Not just across the street, they decided to move it a half a mile away. We're talking about a 4-story building that took up about a quarter of the city block. It weighed 1,500 tons, 3 million pounds of rock, block, and steel. So you could not take it apart and put it back together. It was all or none. So they had to move it. And the way they did it was raising it up off its foundation on the steel beams, transferring it to 36 tow dollies with 8 tires each, and they moved it around the corner, down the street, across the bridge. In fact, the bridge they moved it across was up to our right. You see those red traffic lights? That's the bridge they pulled it across. It took 6 hours to get the hotel across that bridge. And then it was another 3 or 4 blocks to its current location on Alamo Street, where again it's open as the Fairmount Hotel. And that is the longest, furthest, and heaviest building moved on tires. It's in the Guinness Book of World Records. There's also a great YouTube video called Moving to Fairmount. It's very interesting. It's only about 15 minutes long. If you find the story interesting, you can learn more on Moving to Fairmount on YouTube. Now, before we go into this bridge on our right, up between the 2 bridges is the Stargazer. She's the most recent addition to our Riverwalk. She's made entirely of Mexican volcanic stone, 80 giant pieces, and she arrived here in 2022.